The NFT bull market is back.
We are back.
Apes.
And a group of crypto enthusiasts are trying to buy the US Constitution. That is what is happening this week. We are going to cover that and more. And we also have a very special guest, Adryenn Ashley, one of the NFT OGs in the community. So lots to get into today on Goats and the Metaverse. But before we do that, Stanley, what do we need to talk about?
The Goat Bowl, baby. Let's check out the Goat Bowl. Whoa. $59,620. We are officially back. ETH is down. NFTs are up. And as you can see, we are going back up, baby. Tell everybody what the Goat Bowl is because you do it better than anybody in the game. Go ahead, Yossi.
Well, we're almost back to our all-time high in the Goat Vault. For those of you that don't know, the Goat Vault is our way to reward our community. We are taking $10,000 of our own money. We have deployed $3,000 of that so far into new NFT drops that we lock away into the vault to keep them safe for you, our dear community. That when we get to 5,000 subscribers on the show, we'll be giving away the contents of that vault. And as you heard, that is worth $60,000 today. $3,000 invested, $60,000 return, 20x'd on those NFT investments. And we're every week looking for new projects to bring into the vault so that you can benefit from it. So all you need to do to win, subscribe to the show, tell your friends, tweet it out. I think we might be live on Twitter today.
We're live on Twitter.
Well, look at that. Twitter. Can we make the Goat Vault trend on Twitter? That is the challenge for today. And that's the only way for you to stand a chance to win the contents of the Goat Vault. What's been happening in the market, Stanley?
Absolutely nothing. Just joking. Let's check out our top 10 in the last 7 days. Let's start off with the top 3. Axie Infinity, still number 1. Number 2, we got the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Just doing $114 million in 7 days. And Mutant Ape Yacht Club.
Up 400%.
Mutant Ape Yacht Club is not that far behind with $80 million in sales. It's been an absolutely crazy, insane week in the ape world. We announced last week on the show that Jimmy Fallon bought an ape. And ever since then, it has been going absolutely bananas. See what I did there? Bananas.
Well, we have Jimmy Fallon to personally thank for kicking off the bull market again. Since that day, things have been rallying across the market. You saw green, and a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement. The floor for Bored Apes went from 30 ETH to 52 ETH today. That's a 22 ETH gain in just under a week. You're almost doubling your money if you had bought an ape and sold it today. And there's debate how far can this go? Apes today, if you just take the floor price across all of the projects, valued at roughly $3 billion. Not bad for a project that didn't exist 9 months ago.
And here's the crazy part. Nifty Nick was on our show last week, and he said he likes to look at apes. You need to have about 2.5 apes for every punk you own. We cut that in half, right? The punk floor is less than 90, and the Bored Ape floor is at around 52, right? So they are catching up, and now we could have the conversation or debate. Can apes make that run and become number 1? What do you think, Yossi?
I think it's possible, and a good question for us to ask Adryenn when we bring her on the show and hear her view on whether the great flippening will happen anytime soon. Another thing that Nifty Nick said was that his money was on the mutant apes to really accelerate, and we saw them rise 480% this week. So if you listened to the show last week, took the advice from Nick, you would be in the money today.
Yes, mutant apes have been flying as well. And let's do a quick recap before we move off apes of all the celebrities that have actually bought an ape. Post Malone bought 2 this week, spent around $700,000. And I believe he actually did it during a music video that he was recording. And It's included in the music video. We know about Jimmy Fallon. Steve Aoki, I believe, bought 2 apes this week. Rudy Gobert, who's an NBA player, bought an ape. And Ronnie Feig from KIF bought an ape as well. So every week we're seeing multiple celebrities coming into the space and purchasing apes, which I think it's a clear reason why they're moving, right? I mean, it's becoming a cultural phenomenon to own an ape.
And not only are we seeing celebrities coming in, we're seeing big producers starting to back specific apes to make them into brand names and icons. We have Universal creating a band with 4 apes, which is the world first, taking 4 apes on tour. We have Timberland getting behind it, behind another project. So this goes to the core of one of the main reasons why maybe apes are as sensational as they are, is that you have the full commercial rights of the ape that you own. So if you own the ape, you can do anything you want with it and get the full benefit of those commercial rights. So it makes sense that these big brands are now coming behind it. They're going with the trend, with the culture. This is a new cultural brand and icon, and they want to be part of it.
And we talked about this months ago, what makes apes interesting. And, I don't want to say we predicted this because it was bound to happen and we weren't the only ones. But that was the main reason why we said, hey, this is why apes are interesting and why we aped in, for that specific reason of it's only a matter of time where people are going to start buying it and building businesses around it. And now we're seeing celebrities and big businesses buying these apes and building brands around it. Obviously, that continues to grow. The other apes that are part of the 10,000 ape family, and now we're seeing we're mutants, right? And you could have the debate and conversation of well, what happens if you own an ape and a mutant and a dog all in the same family? Is there going to be more rewards, or you're going to have more upside there? There's a lot of interesting ways where you could really not only monetize it, but build brands around it. I mean, I think it's only a matter of time before somebody builds a building that looks like an ape, right?
We also saw the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Yoga Labs show a teaser of a mobile game and competition that they're bringing out. It made the internet go crazy. The game looks like a lot of fun. A lot of things going on at the same time, where you can see the ape characters in the ape world battling things out, throwing bananas, shooting, explosions, all the kind of things you want to see in a interactive game. And people are very, very excited about what this community can build. And I've got to give it credit. I haven't seen in 9 months this type of execution out of anyone else in the NFT landscape. So you got to give Yuga Labs credit for what they deserve. They really are giving the standard of the industry.
Forget about NFT space. I think any space, right? Who's able to build something like this in 9 months? It's pretty incredible. And to segue from apes, there's another big movement happening in the NFT space. Doodles are on the rise, and Doodles were sitting at around an ETH about a week ago, and I believe they touched 4 ETH today. They're a little bit below now. But you're having now same thing. Cool artwork, big community. Kygo Music bought one and saying, hey, my friends are buying one and they're coming on in. And a lot of people are speculating, can this be the next Bored Ape Yacht Club? Or can this make a run and maybe one day overtake Cool Cats? And the artwork is very cool. The community is there. And obviously, slowly, people are getting behind it. And we see that in the ETH price. What do you think? What are your thoughts on Doodles, Yossi?
Similar to you, but I think what we're seeing is that simple projects that have good art and a community behind it is all it kind of takes. Doodles is pretty simple. The stuff looks cool, not overly complex in design, not trying to oversell and build a metaverse world and you own some land. And if we get to this point, then there's 23 other things that are going to happen with this NFT and 73 promises. which we saw a lot of, and a lot of excitement around those projects, but then lack of delivery. And what Doodles is, pretty simple. Here it is. This is pretty cool. Come behind this and change this to your avatar. And we're seeing that people like that. What's driving the price movement? Well, I think we're in a bull market. So people are looking at what are the next thing that, like you said, what's going to be the next ape? What's going to be the next cool cat? What can we make the hype around so that we can flip those assets? So you've also got to be careful. You might just be on the other side of that trade.
Don't get stuck holding the bag, the most famous last words. But I think that's the most interesting thing, right? Like, who are you? Who do you relate to? Very little talk about punks in this bull market. And that, I think, is probably one of the most interesting things that's happening. There's almost no conversation about punks.
And that might be where the opportunity is to, trade against the market and be sniping up some rare punks, because they are the OG, and all roads lead back to the punks at some point in time.
And this is why, listen, this is why we have guys like you on our show saying, "Hey guys, wait a minute, don't sleep on the punks." Right? They're sitting there plotting, and they're the OGs, and we'll talk to Adryenn about OGs very shortly. But yeah, let's hope this continues with the bull market. In other news, Justin Bieber is performing tonight in the Metaverse. Thoughts?
What does that mean?
I don't know, but it's he's performing in the Metaverse. Is that just like him streaming live? What does that even mean?
Well, I think he will be performing in a new Metaverse world on Wave.watch. And we'll be putting a concert together. We're starting to see that celebrities are being transported into the metaverse in these ultra realistic 3D universes run by a number of different platforms. So it'll be interesting to see how many people watch this concert by Justin Bieber. But, he is an iconic pop star and celebrity. So I expect big things out of that production. And I think this is going to become the norm. We're just going to start seeing that these are the types of culturally relevant, exciting, new ways of experiencing music, art, culture, whatever it is going to be happening in this type of setting. We saw that originally starting with Fortnite, who held the record-breaking concert of 13 million people all at the same time, and other platforms are starting to get into that game, and the world of the metaverse becoming more of a reality day and day.
And I think the interesting part is how quickly it's becoming. I think we talked about this on the show. I know Gary, you talked about it. Soon tickets are going to be NFTs. NFL announced today that the Thanksgiving game, Lions versus the Bears, the ticket is actually going to be an NFT. I'm not really sure what that actually quite means, but it's happening very quickly, right? Performances in the metaverse. Tickets are now NFTs. It looks like things are just moving at a very, very, very rapid pace. And I could just tell by my DMs that I'm getting from friends that are now like, okay, now I'm ready. I'm ready to buy my first NFT. I'm ready to buy crypto. I think more and more people are finally starting to see that NFTs, the metaverse, is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. And as a segue, let's talk about the Constitution, because when you think of metaverse, you automatically start thinking about the Constitution. What's happening there, Yossi?
Well, what a segue. We are talking today about a group of crypto enthusiasts who rallied the world to go out and buy a rare copy of the Constitution. There are only 11 in circulation, one in the hands of the public. It's going on auction tonight at Sotheby's at 6:30 Eastern time, in 2 hours' time. And a group of people a week ago got together and said, well, maybe we should buy this. Maybe we should buy this Constitution and put it where it's supposed to be, in the hands of the people, for the people to govern what happens with this historic, iconic document. That turned into a movement. 1 week later, $40 million has been raised to fund the purchase of this document, over $40 million. On Tuesday, it was actually at $4 million. And we at Metaversal decided to jump in and put in $1 million. And since then, it's skyrocketed. We now have over $40 million today, and hopefully we'll win the auction. And then what's going to happen with that is anyone who has contributed Ethereum, ETH to the project, whether it is $1 or $100, will get a token called People. They'll get the People token, and every person who holds the People token will be able to decide what gets done with this document. Anyone can bring a proposal, it gets voted on, and the idea is to bring this document into the hands of the people. So pretty crazy, pretty exciting, not something that I think would be possible without crypto and the networks that it's built to be able to coordinate on that type of level. So we'll see what happens in 2 hours on whether Constitution DAO wins the Constitution.
So real quick before we bring on Adryenn, because I have like a million questions about this, but like this whole thing was put together in less than a week.
7 days, yeah. Last week Thursday it started.
Who don't know each other, right? Decided we're gonna buy this thing. And obviously your fund, Metaversal, chipped in $1 million. But you're saying some people chipped in, a few $100, right? It's not a
the average contribution was $230.
Wow. And now they're getting voting rights of what to actually do with this document.
If we win it, that's still
going to happen. Obviously, if you win it.
That's what's happening. Yeah.
But the one thing I want to hit on here before we move on is the technology allows you to actually do all this, right? Like everyone now has a stake in this, and there's no like, let me call my lawyer. He could call your lawyer. Let's call him back. Like you guys, this all happened in a matter of days, hours, right? Like.
Yeah, the community rallied together. There's over 18,000 people in the Constitution DAO Discord group. People saying that they can build the website. Someone else saying that they can help with the Twitter campaign. Other people rallying in support from their networks. But they were leveraging technology that all exists. Nothing really had to be built in order to be able to facilitate the ability to, one, receive over $40 million, trust that a group of complete strangers will do what they say they will do by setting up a multi-sig, which basically means that there's multiple signatories on how that money can be handled. 13 core people are in charge of how to sign off any transactions that come through the Constitution DAO. So you're putting your faith in those 13 people. And then anyone who has contributed will receive, like I said, that token that gives them a vote. Any proposals that come on, you're able to say, yes, I'm in favor of that, or no, I'm not in favor of that. And this will be a world historic moment where, probably 10,000 people decide on buying a single iconic historical artifact and decide on its future.
So I know that, there's other signatures required, but can we get like, if you guys win, can we get it like on the show? Can we have some sort of input here on Go to Metaverse? Like, can we interview the Constitution? Can we interview the 13 people? We have to be involved in some sort of way, okay?
Well, last night on Discord, we had some people reading the Constitution to the background of some lo-fi beats. So, maybe we'll bring on some of the readers. But yeah, we can definitely bring on some of the core contributors who really made this happen and drove the movement.
Well, good luck to you. I hope you guys win.
Thank you.
I think anybody that's watching this show or gonna watch it in the future or tries to really wrap their heads around what is happening in this NFT world really needs to think about what we just talked about and wrap their heads around. You know what? I'm gonna bring on Adryenn because I want her input here. Without further ado, Adryenn, how are you?
I'm fabulous, except I'm trying to buy some Constitution DAO right now. I'm sitting here on another screen and I'm like, wait, my transaction's not done yet.
So let's go right into that. Like, you're an OG in the space. You've been involved since 2009.
Well, okay. So I got my first Bitcoin in 2009 and then promptly lost it because this was, pre-wallet. Terminal window on my Mac. I had a private key. I have a public key. I don't know where they are. So many OGs, there are probably 4 million Bitcoin out there we're just SOL.
All right. Well, is this like what people talked about, 10 years ago, 8 years ago? Like, was this even like a thought process that we could be buying the Constitution?
Well, okay, no, not buying the Constitution, but DAOs in general, yes. That was kind of the whole thing about decentralization is let's get something done. So we had a lot of community projects, like back in 2012, we were working on community projects. And I don't know if we called them DAOs back then. I don't think we used that terminology, but they were decentralized. And it was a group of people who had never met each other. Some we'd never even seen our faces, just getting together and doing things. And then in 2015, I created this idea that, because I'm very into nonprofit philanthropy, things like that, but I'm also very anti-waste. So when I see, big, global governmental organizations handing somebody $400 million to do something with no accountability, it kind of pisses me off because we still haven't fixed the water in Flint, Michigan. So, little things like irk the fuck out of me. Pardon my language. Ooh, am I allowed to say?
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully we won't get kicked off Twitter, but I don't have a problem with you cursing.
Okay. So I designed this thing to replace the bricks in front of a hospital with what are now NFTs. It wasn't there. We had colored coins, but we didn't really have non-fungible tokens. Really, it was going to cost $1 million, so we didn't. But we're going to do it now. But you basically, instead of selling a brick with somebody's name on it, you create an endowment. Every dollar that goes in gets a NFT token, or it's a token, and their name is emblazoned on it. And then every time it circulates, it creates this donor wall for each nonprofit. So you have the legacy donors. These are the people who made that token possible. And then you have the donors for that specific project. And it's just a way to, visually give back to your donors, but it's also a way to track all of the spending. Where did the money go? How many times was it recirculated? And we figured out that for each dollar donated to the endowment, we could create about $77 a year in value. So we've been doing it a while. And then in 2017, ERC 721, we were doing certifications for luxury goods and tracking. We were doing supply chain. We were doing event tickets, green energy production for carbon credits. Like, these are all the early non-fungible token use cases. Why we didn't think about art on the blockchain, I don't know. But you know what? Now is the time, right? Everybody got really creative during lockdown. We saw, this blow up of TikTok and everybody getting really creative. And then all of a sudden this art stuff just started coming out. So I'm really excited because it brings more women to the table. But I love this whole idea of the Constitution DAO. I love a group of strangers who have a common goal coming together and making shit happen, because I am just tired of waiting. There you
go. We are all tired of waiting. So tell us, how did you get involved in the start with these decentralized communities, Bitcoin community? What got you into it and got you to stay all this time?
Well, really, in 2009, I was asked if I would take Bitcoin for a payment for a strategic consultation. And I'm like, what's Bitcoin? Sure. I mean, I've been in tech my whole life. I mean, I was programming when I was 12, and I'm a lot older than I look. So, I mean, it's been a really long time. So I was like, okay, digital money. Okay, got it. No problem. Sure. And then I promptly lost it. So maybe someday I'll find it, but I doubt it. And then in 2012, I started getting into it. And really what lured me into it was not this idea of like making millions overnight. It was the unfuckwithable ledger of what actually happened and how applicable that is in business use cases and where it's appropriate and where it would actually up level whatever that business owner was doing. Because I was doing strategy and consulting and architectural design, technical architectural design, and monetization strategies, things like that. And obviously marketing, I talk for a living. Like that's my big thing is influence. And then when we started doing all this stuff in 2015, I had a platform, the world's first platform for reality TV and talk shows to raise money. And we were using social currency, and we were contemplating adding blockchain pieces to that to create a whole tokenomic structure. But we put our first show on the air from idea to on national broadcast television in 90 million households in 4 months, which is unheard of. And it was a really quality show. We grew 200% week over week. So that was implementing all those strategies. And then in 2017, I realized that the Me Too epidemic did not have a solution. And I'm a solution results oriented person. So I created a naughty dating app for good girls that gets women laid and safely, because it puts consent on the blockchain. You need safety, security, and certainty to say yes, even to dinner. And that solved that problem. So So I
Wow.
did it for a while. And then,
That's very interesting, actually, because
yeah.
not a typical use case you would think that the blockchain for the blockchain, right?
Well,
Or
it
at
does.
least,
Because
at least not kind of your everyday blockchain user, right? I don't think that's something they're thinking about.
Well, it inspires transparent communication. So if you're going to go have a dinner meeting with an investor and you're a female founder, it's very clear this is an investor dinner. This is not a date, right? Because we do run into that. I don't, but a lot of women do. I think they're afraid of me. I'm a name and shame girl, so like it doesn't happen. And I don't mean that as a challenge out there for people to start. I'm just, like I don't experience a lot of things that other people do, but that's because I'm a little bit more unfiltered.
So Adryenn, you have now been involved in the community for as long as it's been around.
Yeah.
You're also involved in a number of different NFT communities. Tell us about the one that stands out the most for you and why.
Oh, well, the latest one, I've been in it a week now, is actually the Billionaire Zombies Club. So if you take a look at that, the floor has tripled in the last week. Basically, a really brilliant artist put together this project, and it was JPEGs with a serial number. And everybody saw like this organic growth because the art was so good, and it was really good. And so a bunch of OGs got together, and now it's a DAO, and I'm the co-organizer of the DAO. And now there is a roadmap that is freaking baller. I did an AMA the other night that just it was great with these. I don't want to say shadow.
Give us some highlights of the baller roadmap, because I'm very curious about a baller roadmap, because I think, not to call out your project, but I think some roadmaps have a lot of fluff on them. So
no fluff. They're actually building the Metaverse game now. There is a DAO structure being implemented. We're now legally compliantly DAO. There's going to be a whole tokenomics rollout for that that has not yet been revealed, but it's pretty darn cool. We're orchestrating that right now, but it's all really based on participation. There's a whole play to earn component inside the game. And the community is just on fire. That's what I thought was really interesting. I think I'm the only girl. Like literally, I think I'm the only girl. So girls, literally, you want to meet guys? Let's in this Discord, and I would say 95% of them are freaking amazing. And I haven't met the other 5% yet. So
look, I don't mean to pull you back, but let's slow that down a little bit, because I think a lot of people who watch the show are new to NFTs and they want to learn about NFTs. And we talk about it on a daily basis, community. What makes a kick-ass community, right? Like what is like, we hear it every day. And obviously, and once again, I'm not trying to call you out by all means, thousands of NFT projects, everyone has the best community, right? Like what really is a great community, or what makes a great community?
So a great community is a shared vision for how you want the community to grow. The other thing is obviously more than just holding an avatar, right? What are you guys doing together? Like we're about to do a live event in Miami so that everyone can meet and greet. We're adding some tech in there. So when I design, I generally design communities for platinum selling Grammy winning artists, right? So artists have been really struggling the last couple of years because they haven't really been able to go on tour, or their fans can't actually go to the concert unless they provide proof of vaccination. It's just really crazy. So this Justin Bieber concert is literally exactly what I keep saying to everybody. Like, and I don't know how they're organizing it. I'm going to have to attend just to make sure. But the way that I organize it is you have the same different ticket levels that you would normally have at a regular concert. So you've got general admission, you've got VIP, you've got backstage pass. You have different merch tables in the different areas so that if you have a VIP ticket, you can get to the VIP merch table that has limited edition stuff. If you have backstage pass, you can do a meet and greet and you can get like a photo op. Obviously, it's a virtual photo op, but then that can be NFT'd. All these different pieces and everything. And then as well as a locked community, and your NFT is your token gated access to basically get in. I have a movie and I was trying to figure out, how do I NFT my movie? It's from 1998, dark, depressing art film about a Black man who can't get a job. Not a conversation people were having back then. Definitely now a conversation people are having. It was the plight of the urban poor. Not everybody's a gangbanger, people. That's just, a fact of life. And so I figured out the technical architecture in order to do that, but that meant creating a gated access point, which is also good for SEO, because when people go to your website and they stay for 2 hours to watch a movie, that's kind of good, right? Or 2 hours for an AMA. So I like to put everything under your own domain so you can't be deplatformed. And that's what we're doing with all of these artists. And we're creating these digital passes. They go on their phone. We can push notify them, let them know there's a pop-up happening. Like my girl Kai, we're doing her launch. She's EYEAMKI. She is the first celebrity we're onboarding to Block Perks, which is a creator platform that allows them to have all of this stuff. And then so she can push notify. She has all these little pop-ups. And the people who are 50 miles away, they'll get notified and they'll get early access before even American Express Black Card holders. So those concerts will sell out and with their fans. So that's a bonus.
So are we just talking, is your outlook or the outlook or what you're describing kind of just very deep marketing, right? Like is now with NFTs and blockchain, you're able to market better and smarter and more efficiently and more effectively and in a shorter period of time? Is that what
So the difference is, it used to be in internet marketing, the value of your list, your email list was $1 per person per month, right? That's just a general baseline, right? If you're not making that, you're doing something wrong. Well, the problem is that email deliverability has gone down. The open rates have gone down. Push notifications are a 98% open rate. So that's awesome. And then the other thing with the NFTs is it makes your audience feel like they have ownership into something. So it's not just like when we used to sell subscriptions to courses and things like that. That didn't give them that same feeling of ownership, right? And the transferable nature of the NFTs means if somebody buys, like Blau, I think it was 1.4 million, sold something where it's like you get VIP ticket to any concert or something like that. Yeah. Like crazy, right? Well, that can be sold. And in 5 years, that could be worth $10 million. So, part of it is lifestyle and experiential. But, in the back of your mind, not to be, raising any flags with the SEC, because this is not investment advice. I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on TV sometimes. But
never financial advice.
Never financial advice. But you can see how, how that would actually be something that somebody might want and that it would increase in value over time as rarity. Right? Just like an antique, right? An antique is not a security. I can go to the antique store and pick up something for $5 that they don't know what it is, and I know what it is, and flip it on eBay for 100. So that's that kind of thing. So when you were talking about the up and coming projects, that's why I brought up Billionaire Zombies Club. But there's also other things, like in the NFT community, like you can literally now, if you go to, you got to look it up because it's a UK company, DeFi for you. You can literally like pawn something in an NFT online for crypto.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like you can literally NFT your boat and pawn it for crypto loans.
Wow.
It's crazy.
DeFi for you.
Yeah, it's the one .uk. I think it's defiforyou.co.uk. Am I right?
Yeah, you are right.
So the whole use case for NFTs, this is what I keep trying to get everybody to think about. It can be anything. Whatever you can think of, I can find a way to orchestrate and integrate an NFT into that play, right?
How? So and I like, I know what an NFT is. I'm one of those people that's vocal about them, just like you are. But let's say you're sitting on your couch right now and you're like, hey, I want to make an NFT. What is like a common person that doesn't have the technical knowledge or, even a full deeper understanding of how to do this? Like, where do they start? Like, how do you create an NFT? Like, obviously, as in, if you want to do a piece of artwork, you could go to OpenSea and mint something, right? But what about if you wanted to do something a little bit more complex? What's your advice to somebody that's trying to do something a little bit more sexier?
A little bit more sexier. Like there are actually kind of WYSIWYG front end tools that'll do a lot of it. Like you want to make a deflationary token on Polygon Network, it's going to cost you about $200. Smart contracts are already audited. You just go click. I want to burn 2%. I want a LP liquidity pool 2%. I want 2% to go to the dev team to keep the project going, and I want 2% to be a reward going back to all the holders. Right? click, 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 boom, click, pay my $200, done. I now have a deflationary DeFi token. You want to just mint a straight ERC20 token on Polygon, Ethereum, Binance. You can do it on Binance for less than $2. You Google create shitcoin on YouTube. And the guy is like freaking hilarious. There's the code. You copy it into remix.ethereum.org. You put your token name in, the number of tokens, how many decimal points, and the little ticker, and you click assemble, and there you go. Like, you launch your token. It takes 2 minutes and it's like $2. So there really is no barrier to entry. Now, the complexity of it is where it gets interesting, right? So with NFTs specifically, ER721 has a flaw. We're trying to get it fixed. It's been proposed 2 years ago. It's still not fixed. I'm kind of salty about that. The royalty structure. So if you mint on OpenSea, you can set a royalty. If you mint on Mintable, you can set a royalty. If you mint on Rarible, you can set a royalty. You can always set a royalty. The problem is that smart contract is only kicked off when you transact on that platform. So the royalty is not baked into the NFT and required prior to transmission, right? So that's a key piece right there. And then
you think that will be solved?
They already solved it. They just haven't implemented it yet. So the code is actually there and tested in 2 years. We're ready, right? And then the other thing that's not so easy, unless you go to certain platforms like Cargo will do it, and there's a few other platforms that do it, you need to be able to do royalty splits, since we are a decentralized crypto society, right? That's kind of like one of our core values: personal responsibility, self-reliance, your keys, your money. Part of it is also this decentralized nature. So in a lot of these NFT projects, you see these collabs, right? Well, instead of having all of the money go to a multi-sig and then having to distribute, it could automatically just distribute royalties out to the artists and everybody else who collaborated. That's not quite so WYSIWYG. That's a little bit more custom. So that's something to think about. But it's super easy to do it, right? And then one of the things, going back to my dating app, not to toot my own horn, but I did come up with this in 2015. Actually, in a Las Vegas hotel room when my roommate was out on a Tinder date, clearly getting laid, and I was awake and horny and had no solution to my problem. And then I'm going through all of the apps and I'm like, this is not working. I am in a hotel with 15,000 people. Somebody must be awake and compatible. And don't make me go down to the bar and scrape up the dregs of the leftovers, because that's never a good idea, ladies. It's just never a good idea. So this whole idea of ID, right? Like I said, we need safety, security, and certainty. So I created this digital ID that verifies you are this human, this is actually you, and you are a human. And then proof of personal stake. So your friends can stake your reputation. Yes, she looks like this picture. No, he's not going to murder you, because apparently a man's worst fear, multiple polls, a man's worst fear is that she's fat going on a blind date, and a woman's worst fear is that she's going to be murdered. Blockchain solves that problem, solves on both sides of the equation.
How does it actually solve because somebody has to verify that that's legit, but that's still, you need another person, right? What about if somebody's willing to lie for you?
No. Okay, first of all, you are that person. Okay. Yes, you can have somebody lie for you, but they're putting their money where their mouth is. So if I am a high quality woman and a high value woman, and somebody has like nobody staking their reputation, probably less likely to go out with them than the person who has like 5,000 tokens staking their reputation, that they're funny, they're not going to flake, they're not going to try and rape me on my first date. It's, and for guys, yes, this is her current profile picture. This is what she looks like. No, she's not fat.
And is there like a review afterwards on the blockchain technology after the date?
There is a review, but it is not public. It is a review. The matching system does actually ask for a review on how good the match was. Because
is there a reward for a good night out?
I'm mind blown, by the way. Like you like forget about like this is just. I think it's genius, but I think the people that don't really understand, that how technology works and what the use cases can be. You're talking about a dating site where literally people could go get laid because of the blockchain technology. Like that should be like an ad on.
It will be, because here's the thing, and no more worthless notches on the headboard. If you're gonna actually go get busy, how about make it worth it, right? I would like a little certainty that we're compatible. So we do it very G-rated. We bucket you into ice cream flavors. If I say a bubblegum and a rocky road don't go together, you kind of instinctively know that I'm right without having to understand the naughty underlying reasons why. But said naughty, You don't put a dirty talker in bed with somebody who needs a mind reader, because the minute that the dirty words start going, she dries up and she's done and really trying to escape and probably going to gnaw her arm off. So you just want to avoid those situations. I mean, I dated someone I had known for 4 years who was a bestie, like totally knew this person, loved this person's soul, everything, but we weren't. Yeah. Oh, no, not a thing.
Go ahead, Stanley.
No, you go.
Him, but not.
I was gonna move the conversation back to NFTs, but if you have another question before I do that.
No, I mean, are you how do we get more people involved? In like a very granular, because this is the question I get asked on an everyday basis, right? Like, I want to buy my first NFT, and look, I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I want to be one, nor do I want to play on TV. I could, give input as far as like, hey, here's a project I like and here's why I like it, right? But I don't necessarily know, is it going to go to $1 million or is it going to go to zero? I don't know, but
You don't know. Okay, so for newbies out there, let me go through the basic training. This is the easiest way to do it. Number one, if you are a newbie, yes, you are allowed to use Coinbase. And once you set up your account, you can watch videos and take quizzes and get token drops. Are those tokens ever going to be worth anything? No. Who knows? One could unicorn. You never know. However, it will get you used to using that. I prefer crypto.com for my Vegas money. I'm not a trader. I'm a hodler. So I was on Clubhouse. If you're not on Clubhouse, get on Clubhouse. There's rooms all the time, especially newbie rooms. I have a crypto wallet security worksheet on my website. You can go grab it. The whole reason is because I lost my MetaMask wallet for 2 days. It was my company MetaMask wallet with all of our tokens. So I was like, and I'm an OG. If I can lose mine, you can lose yours. So that's why I wrote this. So you have a sheet, you fill out the sheet, all that information. You don't screenshot it. You don't save it on your hard drive. It is physical. It goes in the safe in a fireproof wrapper, and all that stuff's in there. So here's how you determine your Vegas money when you're first getting started. Close your eyes. Imagine you're in Vegas. You've had like the most epic, wonderful weekend. You've had great dinners. You've seen shows. You've gone to nightclubs. You're just like on cloud nine. Your bags are packed. You're about to go off to the airport. As you're walking by the craps table, you have one last bet. Win or lose, you're good, right? What's that number? Is it 25 bucks? I asked this to a girl. She goes, 500 bucks. I'm like, damn. Okay. I'm 25 bucks. Like if I really, really, really like something, 100, but 25 bucks, that's my experimental number. And here's why. Until you start to play with your own money, you will not experience the emotional highs and lows of seeing green versus red, like you were talking before. And I'm not even talking about technical analysis. I'm talking about crypto.com, little window, and it shows whether you're up or down, right? And it's like, it's not a lot of money, but I did put in a lot of money on one and it went up to $15,000, and I'm a long-term holder. I'm a hodler. I'm like in it for the long haul. I know the roadmap of this project. I know that token is going to go from a fraction of a penny to 25 bucks. I know this. It went up, and then all the investors took their money out and it went down, and I was down 90%. And I was such a fucking bitch for like 2 weeks, like until it started creeping back up. And then I calmed down just a little bit, but I was still salty as fuck for another 2 months until it went back over. And then I had to sell it. Like, I know that's going to be a mistake in the long run, but you got to know what that is for you. Everybody's different. Everybody's investment strategies are different.
I think you make a very good point that you have to actually make an investment. And, I almost think you have to lose some money, right? I almost think like
whether you want to or not, you're going to. So
you're going.
Right, but I mean, like the point of you looking at other people, right, and saying like, I've been following you, I've been following the GOAT Vault, I see it's going up, it's going down, whatever it is. You have to actually like be involved, right? You have to have skin in the game. And maybe you're right. Maybe for somebody it's $25, maybe it's $5, maybe it's $5,000.
Mine was $5,000.
Yeah, but listen,
that's when I realized, no, I'm willing to take my consulting fees in half cash, half crypto. And if the crypto goes down, I'm still hodling it because I'm not.
Best guest on the show ever.
You guys are so sweet. I'm willing to let that ride and hodl it, right? But if it's my $5,000 and I go put it into a project and I made the wrong choice, I get, man. Oh, so that's me. That's my thing. I can't tell you what to do. Anybody who tells you what to do or tells you what to trade, that's not how you do it. You have to learn how to do due diligence. Now, when we come to NFT projects, we've seen some bad news and things like apparently the Apes have a whole bunch of zoo files. This just came out. My kid texted me, he goes, see? And I'm like, what's a zoo file? He goes, people who actually have sex with animals. And I was like, oh, dear Lord, this is my kid's impression of NFTs. And then another one was that whole rug pull $2.7 million where they just raised a bunch of money and then vanished. So
it is going to happen, right? And if you are willing to,
yes and no. Let me finish this. The due diligence piece. One, is the Discord community vibrant, right? Like, are there a lot of people and is there a lot of conversation? Is the roadmap clear? Are they doing live AMAs and taking questions, or are they only putting out very strategic communications to make you think something, but you never have a chance to question? Are the founders known or unknown? Now, that's really interesting for Billionaire Zombie Club because the rest of the leadership team are anonymous. I just got named. I was the first one to come out of the closet, right? They're freaking OGs. I mean, like, I know all these people because all the OGs know all the, we all know each other, right? So he dragged me into this project and I handled the legal compliance, trademarks, orchestration of the DAO and all that. But he's freaking genius. So can you identify them? That's not necessarily a negative if they show up to live AMAs and you can hear them talk and hear their passion about the project, right? Then that's okay. And then look at on the roadmap, is it really feasible what they're saying they're going to do, right? Or is it just a JPEG with a serial number and bragging rights, right? And then you have to determine what's your investment strategy, right? Like if you're minting, the greatest piece of this is if you get in super, super early, like these billionaire zombies, they minted it like $50. The floor is now 0.69. Like it'll be double when the celebrities that we've been talking to make their little videos and put it out there because they've bought them. They're just doing the video right now. I mean, that should go up. Not investment advice. I'm just saying I know behind the scenes what's happening. So you got to look at how much is the excitement and can they actually do it? So is it worth Vegas money, $50 to mint something early? And is it a gamble? Yes. Could it easily be flipped when it goes to the secondary market and make, a 1%, 2%, whatever? Probably. So that's what you got to look at. Like I haven't seen a lot of these projects go below the mint price. So if you're getting in on a mint and you're new, that's probably the lowest price you're ever going to see. So if you like the art and you like the product, you have to like it because Discord fucking sucks. I hate Discord. I'm sitting there trying to go through my AMA. There's like 1,000 messages and then it keeps scrolling back to the bottom. I'm like, I'm trying to respond and we're going to do a tweet chat. I'm going to teach these people how to publicly ball. They're doing it in Discord. And I'm like, nobody's seeing this, right? Only the people who are on Discord. It's this private community. We're about to do a tweet chat that's going to blow the freaking doors off crypto Twitter. And then they're going to go, oh yeah, I remember you guys used to do tweet chats when you were doing the Oscars. And I did 100 million reach impressions for the Oscars on one broadcast. Just me, myself, and I only got 74,000 followers. So we have to move the marketing to really start explaining to people why we're so passionate about these things. And it's not just the floor is raising, it's dope. It's like, no, really, why? Sorry.
Well, but I don't think
I have a pulpit. It's right here. Occasionally I pull it out.
No, but I think that, we all like fall in love with projects, right? And we all, convince ourselves that this is going to the moon, whether we're listening to celebrity influencers or whatever it is. And I'll ask you this question. When do you sell? When,
Again,
because we don't want to sell. And I'm with you. I'm hold, right?
Hold. Okay.
What you don't want to sell when it's, bottomed out, right? When all the investors pull their money out. But let's say that question, right? Like, you know, is it a good idea? Let's say you bought a project for $50 and now you can sell it for $250. Is that, you know?
So I have my strategy, and again, not financial advice, my strategy. And this is what a lot of people who are more trader-like, what they do, they buy multiple mints, right? So they buy more than one, right? Because you never know when you're going to get rares, especially in these blind drops. Like we're doing Foxies for Crypto Vixens. That's my nonprofit to inspire women to join founding teams as co-founders or advisors, regardless of technical expertise. Because I had this woman who's 30-year healthcare professional, healthcare startup on the blockchain. She's like, I don't get blockchain. I'm like, it's a healthcare company. Yeah, but I don't know the technology. I'm like, it's a healthcare company. And it took me probably months to get this right. So we're trying to get more women involved, and thank goodness NFTs have gotten women involved. So we're launching a generative art project that then rolls into a breeding program. And every time somebody breeds, it kicks off a scholarship for developer or entrepreneur education for women around the world. So we want to educate 1 million women to bring more women into blockchain. And so I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, buy. So you
strategy of multiple.
You mint many. Cross your fingers, you get a rare, because like with Foxies, it's a blind. You don't know what you're getting, right? And so then you look on the secondary market when things are super, super fresh, and you scoop up all of the rares, like the rarities that you can get, and you just have a basket of them, and then you hodl a little bit. And then there's a technique, which is, I don't recommend anyone ever on a project. If you're on the team, on a project, anything like this, your people in Discord are going to say it, but you may never say it. These words may never leave your mouth. Sweep the floor. So when you look at the floor prices, right? So on OpenSea, it tells you what the floor price is. Well, there could be one thing for sale, and the next thing is like double that price. So the community will literally go in and just sweep the floor until it's like a realistic number. Like there's 10 things for sale all about the same price. That's really the floor, not the tiny little thing that went on a Black Friday fire sale early. But you may never say that if it's your project, ever.
Don't ever say that.
Ever.
Yeah.
Well, Adryenn, I'm sure we could talk for hours.
Hours.
Dropping.
Yes, he has to go buy the Constitution.
I gotta go buy the Constitution. Literally.
He literally has to go buy the Constitution.
That is like the most exciting thing I've heard of all day, all week. Really, I'm sitting here. I've got it open. I'm on Juicebox. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, put in your contribution, because the auction is closing in an hour and 5 minutes. So
what are we at right now, Yossi? What's
after $40 million, we stopped disclosing how much we have in the kitty, so that any counter bidders don't know what our
it's public. It's on there.
What's on there?
I can literally see it.
What can you see?
The number?
Yeah.
Now there are some private bidders that are off chain that we haven't committed yet, so that it's not all there.
Okay.
But we stopped at just over $40 million, maybe a little bit more, and there are some private bidders that are now available if we need to go more than that. So we'll see where it ends. It'll be live streamed.
Can you imagine we the people owning the Constitution? Oh my God.
It is really cool. Like it's definitely worth the $230.
Oh my God, it's definitely.
Right? You can take your Vegas money and put it on that. I don't think you'll get a return, but at least you will be part of
the Constitution
in the making. So if you want to do it.
You don't have to get a return. Not all crypto investments are for a return. They are for experiential or participatory value. They're for feel good. That was the whole thing I did with the nonprofit. This is an amazing project. This is something that people will tell their grandchildren, hey, I helped buy the Constitution. Can you imagine the stories?
Well, that's why we're behind it. And I hope you're right. This is what needs to happen. So, Adryenn, Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on to Goats and the Metaverse.
Adryenn, you're great. I can't wait. I follow you on Twitter. I can't wait to see what you're gonna the new thing you're gonna come up with next, because
just wait. I have one more tip for everybody.
One more tip.
Before Justin's concert tonight, if you have in mind that you're maybe gonna buy a VR headset, buy it now. They'll be sold out tomorrow. And once you get into this whole VR thing, then they get everybody with the VR headsets, then they start doing the NFT tickets. So this is like a staged play. So if you don't have a VR, get one in like the next 3 hours. Just saying.
Just hop over to your store.
If you want one for Christmas, otherwise, you know, you're going to be paying somebody double, you know, on eBay.
Cool. Adryenn, it was a pleasure having you on, and hope we see you again soon. Everybody, where can we follow you? Give us a quick plug. Where can somebody find you?
I am at Adryenn, Adryenn, pretty much on every social media platform. I am on Billionaire Zombie Club, a zombie mama, in Discord, and wowisme.net is my website. I do NFT community designs and help enterprise businesses figure out how to integrate and do due diligence and compliance for investors.
Awesome. You're awesome. Thank you, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. This has been a pleasure.
Bye, Adryenn. Wow, that was she broke the internet with sexual comparisons. I mean, look, I'm actually blown away from the perspective of there's so many different use cases of what you could do on the blockchain, and the conversation comes up on a daily. What is this metaverse? What does it actually mean? Now there was a concert. You know, and I think she brought up a really good point, right? Well, do you have your general admission ticket? Do you have your VIP ticket? And now if you have a VIP ticket, you're maybe able to buy certain merch that you weren't able to buy with your general admission ticket. The possibilities are really endless. I mean, you're buying the Constitution, dude.
Well, we're trying to, and you're right. The possibilities are endless. And I think things like this expands people's thinking. That really, what can they do here is pretty much anything. Any idea can be brought to life, like you heard today, multiple different things, dating on the blockchain, buying the Constitution, and everything in between. So that's why we love Goats in the Metaverse. Every week, we will keep you attuned to all.
And before we let everybody go, the goat vault. Yossi, one last time, quickly tell everybody why they should smash the subscribe button.
I'm going to give you the abridged version because I am going to try and buy the Constitution. And the abridged version is if you subscribe to the show, you could win $60,000. So subscribe today and win $60,000.
Boom. All right. That was fun. Love you guys all. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.